So you're wanting to learn to hunt from the ground, right? That's why you clicked on the video. Do me a favor, guys. If you're not a subscriber already, I'm gonna ask you to please hit the subscribe button. The information that I'm fixing to give out, I think should be for subscribers only. Now, I'm sure there's some of you guys that are too proud or scared or whatever it is to hit the subscribe button. 90% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribers. So I want that number to go up. And you guys have been hitting the subscribe button, and I really appreciate that. But the information that I'm fixing to give out, which is going to be over a series of probably a couple of weeks, I'm probably going to go for 4 weeks. And here's some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, okay? So today I'm going to go over a few things in this video. This is really going to be a classroom, y'all. I've been thinking long and hard about how I'm going to go about filming this video, because I was talking to Joel about this, on our hog hunt. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. And he was like, man, you know so much that people they can't tap into that just by watching a video. And I kind of agree with that. He was like, it's nothing like being here in person with you and seeing how you go through the motions, you know. So it's hard. First of all, it's hard for me to take you along and show you every single step and why I do what I do. And so I'm going to try to break those things down and what goes through my brain as I'm going through a stalk or just working through an area. Because y'all, I put a survey out there, and 30% of y'all want to see ground hunting tactics, and then 30% of y'all want to see whitetail scouting tactics. Y'all, whenever I go into an area, I have only ever seen it on the internet, which is Google Earth or Onyx Maps or something like that. That's the only way that I can see it until I show up there in person. And when I show up, I'm immediately hunting / scouting. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to describe how I go about it. So I'm going to have to break it down into a bunch of different series, I think, so that you can really grasp a hold of what it takes to hunt from the ground. Here's what you can expect from these videos, okay? I think this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to go through. We're going to talk about cost, the difference between hunting from a tree and hunting from the ground, the gear that it takes to hunt from the ground. I'm going to give away weekly knowledge bombs. The way deer bed is going to be one of them. This week is going to be using an animal's bubble. How to work the wind. That is huge. People don't understand that, and sometimes they don't even think about the wind, which should be in every hunter's mind, no matter if you're hunting from the tree or the ground. And then knowing where to hunt, how I decide on where to hunt and how I hunt those areas, okay? So this week, today, we're gonna let's go over some costs, okay? Tree stand versus ground hunting. It's quite a bit cheaper to hunt from the ground because, one, you're not having to buy anything to climb up in the trees, right? You're not having to buy that support system to keep you safe while you're in the tree. You don't have to have the stand, the steps, you know, all of that. Like I think you save right there like $800 if you're buying some of that high-end stuff. To me, that's 2 more tags in another state, y'all. That's another good thing about hunting on the ground. You're going to want to have water, snacks. You're going to be walking and covering ground. You're going to want to have a kill kit in there. You know, a bunch of different things that you probably already have all of that stuff anyway. The difference is we're not going out in the morning, staying for a morning hunt, and then we go back to the truck. No. When you're a ground hunter, you hunt all day long, okay? Let's get that straight right now. When everybody else is back snacking at the truck, we are hunting and scouting and figuring out what the area, how the area, the way the deer move through that area, and I'm slowly picking it apart until one, I either find deer and then I sit down, or two, I approach and how I approach. Anyways, that's getting into, there's so many tangents I can go off on, it's unreal. The cost difference is maybe not just a whole lot. I don't know how many guys that tree stand hunt that run like binoculars and stuff like that, but most of the guys that are hunting anyway, you guys already have a backpack, right? You already have your knife and your sharpener or whatever it takes to take care of that animal in the field. So I guess what I'm getting at is most of you guys already have this stuff to hunt from the ground. And I recommend that you try it. But first, you're gonna need to learn about a few things. So the big why of why hunting on the ground, okay, let's look at this for a second, all right? So let me pick a color here. Brown is good. So most of you guys, most of y'all that are hunting out of a tree, right? You're carrying a load of crap around that is extremely heavy, okay? You drive down this road, right? And there's a cul-de-sac or a little pull out or something like that, right? And you park your truck right here, right? And then there's a boundary that you guys like to stay at. And that boundary is about 1 mile from all of these roads, okay? So let's call this our mile mark, okay? This is pressured area. This is where all of these tree stand hunter guys, that's as far as they're gonna get from their truck because they don't like to carry all of the stuff. Not only that, they don't like to carry the deer, okay? That's something that you gotta get over when you're a ground hunter. I go outside of this red area, okay? Now, here's another thing that I've learned, right? You take this major road right here, and then you put a trail at the end of it, wherever that trail goes, right? Well, that trail also has a barrier around it. I would say of about a half a mile all the way around wherever that trail goes, okay? So I am hunting all of the areas that is in between, all out here that nobody is getting to, because one, they're carrying a bunch of crap and they get tired of carrying that crap, okay? Don't take this wrong, tree stand guys. I know it's not crap. This is what you want to learn about is hunting on the ground. And I found that it was just bogging me down to have to carry all of this stuff, right? This week's weekly knowledge bomb is this. You need to be aware of animals and the different size bubbles that they have that they will allow you in, let's call it their comfort zone. In order for you to be able to stalk up on a deer from the ground or sit inside of that deer's bubble, right? You're gonna have to learn how to read the deer, how to read that animal, really any animal. I do this on a bunch of different animals, right? I would recommend that you start out small. You guys should be practicing this right now, okay? This is your weekly homework to go out into the field and you need to find an animal, okay? I'm gonna write you a little example, right? You're walking through the woods, okay? Smiley face. If you see a bird in the woods, all right? Let's just get our little bird here. He's sitting on a damn tree. Okay. And you move in, you're walking in, right? This bird has a bubble, right? A perimeter around it that it will allow you, once you get to that bubble, it will then fly, right? Fight or flight mode. Most of everything is going to fly, okay? You have to learn to move through the woods in a manner that you are not spooking everything that's out there, okay? But first thing is I want you to practice or think about that bubble, right? To be a bow hunter on the ground, you're gonna have to get inside of that bubble to be able to harvest any animal, okay? Just like I said, every animal has a different size bubble, just like every person does, right? You get too close to me, hey man, you're inside my bubble, you better back up. I'm gonna move or we're gonna have to fight, right? Animals are the same way. You have to practice that. I mean, there's so much that goes into it, you know. Patience. You have to learn to move so slow, it's not even funny. Like, when I'm moving through the woods, y'all, I'll move and then I'll pick up my glass and I'll look and I'll check. I need to figure everything out. But when I'm moving through the woods, I normally have a destination in mind or an area that I'm going to check out, okay? So I'm not always, I guess what I'm saying is depending on the area and what kind of area it is determines the speed that I move through it. Does that make sense? So if I'm out in an open field, I know there's not going to be hardly any deer around. If there are, it's going to be a doe or a young little dumb buck that I'm not after, right? I'm after the stuff that is hiding during the day, sleeping in their beds, because we're out there all day. We're going to find the deer where they are bedded down, or we're going to get real close to it. And by hunting this way and not just going out and sitting in the morning and sitting in the evening, you're able to hunt all day. So you learn so much in such a small time frame, right? That's how I'm getting it done, y'all, in these other states in just a few days, is I'm spending so many hours out in the field. I've got my snacks, I've got water, I've got my hydration pack, I've got my filter to filter water, I've got everything that I need to take care of me, rain gear, all of that, right? I hunt from as early as I can wake up in the morning. Sometimes I don't get out there until it's just breaking daylight because I don't want to bump into deer. I've got areas in mind that I think are going to be bedding areas, and those areas are the ones I'm going to target for ground hunting, okay? So I want you to learn about an animal's bubble. You have to know about that. And you have to be able to read that animal. Like if you're moving through the woods and birds are flying away from you, you're probably moving way too fast, okay? Same thing with like a rabbit or an armadillo. If you can find an armadillo or you live somewhere where there's an armadillo or a raccoon or something like that, I would advise you to get as close as possible and see if you can get inside, way close inside of that animal's bubble, okay? Do it to a squirrel in a park. I mean, anything like that. Birds out in WMA or something, just pay attention to the way you're moving through the land and learn to use the land to your advantage as well. That's a whole nother subject that we're gonna have to cover on another series or on another episode, okay? What else do we have for today? We went over cost, we went over the why, how versatile it is. You see more deer. I feel like I don't see hunters because I'm getting outside of that red zone, okay? Where guys with tree stands normally will hunt. I'm going a mile and then I'm starting my hunt. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes I'm burning through that mile area real early in the morning, and then I'm getting close, or I'm already in bedding areas first thing in the morning so I can catch those big bucks up and moving. Next thing, being aware of the animal's bubble. We're gonna start on small animals, armadillos, raccoons, possums, birds, squirrels, all that stuff. You need to go out and learn those bubbles and how to either move around those animals, because they can mess you up sometimes. If you bump a doe and you don't know that doe's area and you haven't spotted her with your glass, that's very important, okay? Which brings me to the next subject, is the gear that you need, in my opinion, to be a ground hunter, okay? You need a good backpack. I've already said that. Every time that I'm ground hunting, I intend on carrying a deer out of the woods at least a mile to 4 to 6 miles. Kyle and I just shot the Coos deer. We were probably 3.5 or 4 miles from the truck there. My buck in Kentucky was probably 2 miles. My buck in Oklahoma was 2 miles. My elk was like 9 miles. I don't even want to get into that pack out. But you need to have a pack to be able to carry meat, okay? Whether you use like a hiker's backpack and you just stuff it full of your deer meat, whatever you can afford is what you need to use, okay? If you need to make several trips to haul meat, then so be it. Use just a Walmart backpack or whatever it is. Just make sure you can carry a bunch of stuff in it, and that means meat, okay? Binos is very important when you're hunting on the ground, okay? You want to be able to see everything out in front of you that you cannot see with your naked eye, right? You can pick apart a forest in an area so fast and then move forward an inch forward, right? So binoculars is very, very important. I recommend that, you know, I use a pair of Vortex Diamondbacks, the 12 by 50s. I like the 12 power because I can really pick stuff apart. I like the magnification even up close. I want to be able to see, you know, how many whiskers that buck has whenever I finally find him laying on the ground. Okay. And camo. I consider camo to be very, very important. Go back and watch some of my videos from a couple years back. I've always used Sitka gear. There's always a face mask. I always use a face mask whenever I'm on the ground, especially whenever I'm just sitting still in an area, possibly on an ambush situation, or if I'm calling, I try to have my face mask on. Sitka gear always has a face mask in it. Don't buy any Sitka gear unless it has the face mask and the hood that goes over. I think that's another thing that I would spend a good bit of money on. You buy good camo, it's going to last you for years and years. I've had my stuff for a long time. I just ask for it for my birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that, so that I'm just building up my Sitka gear system. You know, animals can't see you in this stuff, y'all. I don't know what it is. Like, yeah, you can go hunt without camo. That's cool. I mean, I do it. I go out with blue jeans and stuff like that all the time. But I always have like a Sitka top on or something like that, because on the ground, you know, deer see in gray, black, and white. And as long as my silhouette is broke up to where they can't really tell my legs between my torso, you know, it probably doesn't really matter that much, but I like to be as hidden as possible. So, y'all, that's this week's hunting from the ground tactics. We're going to get deeper into this. I really feel like, you know, I almost feel like I need to talk to somebody about this on a podcast. You know, there's just so much information to give, and tactics, and how I go through an area, how, you know, the wind. It's crazy whenever I try to, you know, trying to break it all down. What goes through my mind is so difficult, and put it on video to where you can understand it and translate it into a hunting scenario, right? Giving you the correct vision to be able to go out there and get it done. So that's my goal, and that's what I hope this series brings. If I need to make the series longer, then we will. And I'm also going to go over some some scouting for whitetail tactics here probably in the next week or so. I went out and did some filming this weekend, so you guys can look forward to that. I hope this is helping you out. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'm going to try to patch this thing together, to where you can understand it. And I'm going to try to give you some visuals as well whenever we get deeper into the series. But first, you got to go through the classroom. So I hope this helps. Work on getting inside of that bubble. You guys should be out there scouting right now. Just a quick tip on scouting. Guys, go through there and blow the woods up right now. That's what you need to be doing. Out there hiking as hard as you can, bumping deer, and then go up middle of the day and find out why those deer were bedded right there. Look at the way the wind was blowing. Look at the way maybe the deer were facing if you spotted them before they spotted you. That's the goal, is get out there and be looking at rubs, be looking at scrapes, be looking at trails, be looking at deer. You need to be looking for deer. You are hunting right now. That's all scouting is hunting without a weapon. Period. Get out there and go do it. Thank you.